We can start, Gangai ma'am.
Diksha?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. A very good evening to one and all present here. I'm Chendanavi of Government Arts and Science College, Salem, Tamil Nadu. On this beautiful day, we all have gathered here in this online platform for the classical Rondo series. I'd like to extend my warm greetings and welcome to Mr. Prasanna Venkatraman, sir, who is a renowned classical musician. Sir has achieved laurels in the field of classical music. On behalf of the SPIC MACAY Foundation, my college, the listeners, the spectators, and the music lovers who are gathered here, I take this opportunity to welcome you, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Welcome, sir. Next, I'd like to welcome the other musicians of the music troupe, Sri H.N. Bhaskar, sir, Sri Manoj Siva, sir, and Sri Anirudh Atreya, sir, who are waiting to share their experiences. On behalf of the spectators and others, I welcome all of you, sirs. Next, on the note, I take immense pleasure in welcoming the music lovers and spectators who are gathered here to witness this online concert. I welcome each one of you. I take this opportunity to welcome you all. Thank you one and all present here for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you. Now, I invite Subiksha of Government Arts and Science College, Salem, Tamil Nadu, to take over the session to give us the intro about the SPIC MACAY Foundation.
A very pleasant good evening to one and all present here. I am Subiksha from Government Arts and Science College, Salem, Tamil Nadu. We all are gathered here today to enjoy an evening of culture and artistic celebration. As we all know, culture is an integral part of our lives. It is important to keep it alive. Our duty to pass the cultural heritage of our ancestors to the upcoming generation. With this notion, the SPIC MACAY is making students more aware of the cultural heritage of India. SPIC MACAY is a society for the promotion of Indian classical music and culture amongst youth. It is a non-political, nationwide voluntary movement founded in the year 1977 by Dr. Kiran Seth, a professor and emeritus at IIT Delhi, who was awarded the Padma Shri for his contribution to the arts in the year 2009. SPIC MACAY's intention is to enrich the quality of formal education by increasing awareness about different aspects of Indian heritage and inspiring the young mind to imbibe the values embedded in it. For this, the most accomplished artists of the country run the programs of Indian classical musics, dance, folk, poetry, theatre, traditional paintings, crafts, and yoga, primarily in the schools and colleges. In the year 2011, SPIC MACAY was awarded the Rajiv Gandhi Sarpavana Award in recognition of its contribution to the youth development. All these programs are organized by thousands of volunteers, largely students, teachers, housewives, retired people, professionals, young and old. SPIC MACAY celebrates Nishkam Seva, the spirit of volunteerism, of giving selflessly without expectation, a value that is intrinsic to our culture and important to nurture in today's world. SPIC MACAY is an affirmation of a priceless cultural heritage, the pulsating and dynamic vitality of young people, and it is a solid value-based education. It is the effectiveness of voluntary work. SPIC MACAY stands on the shoulders of its four main pillars, together working towards the collective efforts of reaching every child and enriching the quality of education, going beyond the barriers of techniques and methods. These four pillars are artists, institutions, volunteers, and supporters. SPIC MACAY introduced the lecture demonstration format to present Indian classical art forms in a comprehensive manner in front of today's youth, which has given them an understanding of the basis of the classical art forms and done away with the misconception that classical arts are difficult to understand. So, on behalf of my own and on behalf of my college, Government Arts and Science College, Salem 7, I sincerely thank SPIC MACAY for organizing such a wonderful platform for the audience to know about the Indian culture and heritage. Thank you, one and all, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. May I now invite Mr. K. Prabhat of Government Arts and Science College to introduce the artist of the event. Over to Ms. Prabhat.
Good evening, everyone. I'm K. Prabhat, pursuing final year of BA English Literature, Shift 1 in Government Arts College around Salem 7, Tamil Nadu. It is my honor to introduce our esteemed chief guest, a much sought after artist of today, T.R. Sangeet Kalaniti, late Sri C.K. Govindarao. He is currently under the guidance of Sir Sri Sanjay Subramanian, known for his fertile imagination coupled with clarity and classicity. He has established himself as a leading young musician of his generation. He has including the name of the Outstanding Office Award from the Music Academy 2011 and 2012. Shanmuka Shankita Sharonmani Award from Chanukhananda, Mumbai, and M.L. Vasant Kumari Award from Parthasarathy Swami Sabha, Chennai. Yuvakala Bharati from Bharatalacha, Chennai, Isai from Karthik Fine Arts, Chennai, and Vidya Sagar Award from India Music Forum, and the prestigious Bismillah Khan Yuva Purashkar from the Sangeet Natak Academy. And a great artist of all innovation, Prasanna has been performing in all prestigious music festivals across the country. He has also made concert tours to North America and Canada, France, Singapore, and Dubai. Prasanna is an M.Tech graduate from IIT Madras and is also the recipient of Institute Blues Award. Moreover, our chief guest is a person of great integrity and character with a deep commitment to ethical values and social justice. He is a beacon of hope and inspiration for all those who aspire to make a positive difference in the world. Therefore, it gives me great pleasure to welcome our chief guest to this event, and I am confident that his presence here today will enrich our discussions and contribute to the success of our endeavors. Finally, I would like to conclude with the great gratitude for this opportunity. Here, I would like to hand over the further session to the technical team. Thank you.
Over to the technical team.
Namaste. I am Prasanna Venkatraman, and today I'll be accompanied by Sri H.N. Bhaskar on the violin, Sri N. Manoj Siva on the mridangam, and Sri Aniruddha Atreya on the ganjira. ri 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 na no tadari nalam tadari ri ri tadari na 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 tadari na 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 ri 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 na tadari na 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 ri na na ri na 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 ra na 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 ra na 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 ra na na ra la na 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 ra na 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 sadari na na no sadari na na no na ta na 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 ra na 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 no na ra 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 na 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 ನಿನ್ನೆನರ ನಮೋ ಮೀನಾನೂರ ನಿನ್ನೆನರ ನಮೋ ಮೀನಾನೂರ ಓ ರಾಮ ರಾಮಯ್ಯ 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 ನಿನ್ನೆನರ ನಮೋ ಮೀನಾನೂರ அடிப்பாடி மேடி பனகசயனே ஜினதனமு நாடே பனகசயனே ஜினதனமு நாடே நிரணோ மீனானு ராம ராமைய நிரணோ மீனானு வேதசாஸ்திர புராயாண்டு வேதசாஸ்திர புராயாண்டு வேதசாஸ்திர புராயாண்டு விகல தேவேட வேதசாஸ்திர புராயாண்டு விகல தேவேட வேதசாஸ்திர புராயாண்டு வேதசாஸ்திர புராணம் வேதசாஸ்திர புராணம் வித்யலஜ வேடம் வேதசாஸ்திர புராண வித்யலஜ வேட வேதசாஸ்திர புராண வேதசாஸ்திர புராண வேதசாஸ்திர வேதசாஸ்திர புராண வேதசாஸ்திர புராண வித்யதஜ வேதசாஸ்திர புராண வித்யலஜ வேட வேதஜ புராண வித்யலஜ வேட வேதசாஸ்திர புராண சதனிதனிதம வேதசாஸ்திர கமபதனி புராண்டு நிகதிதனிதனிதம வேதசாஸ்திர ததபமகரி கமபத புராண்டு நிகதித நிதரித நிதரித நித நிதவத வேதசாஸ்திர சகரித நிதரித நித நிம புராண்டு ma ba re ga ma ga re da ni sa re ga re ma ga ba ma ga re da ni sa re ga ma ba da ma ga re da ni sa pa pa ma ba da ma ga re da ni sa da ba da ma ba ga ma da ba ga ma ni da ba ga ma ba da da ba ma ba ga ga ma re re ga re ma ga ba ma da ba ma ga re da ni da ba ma ga re ga ma ba da ba da ni da ba ma da ba ma da ni da ba ma da ni da ba ma ba da ni da da ni da da ni 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 da ru da ni da ni da ga ni da ni da sa ni da ga ni da ni da da ni da da ni da ma ma da da ni da da ni da ni da ni ga ni ma ga ni da ni da ni ga ni da ni ga ni ga ni da ni ga ma ga ni ga ni da ni ga ni da ni da ni da ni da ni da ba ma be da sa sa That was Ninne Nera Nammi Nanura in Raga Pantorali, set to Rupaka Talam, composition of Saint Tyagaraja. Nirajakshi Kayamakshi Nirada Chikure Nirajakshi Kayamakshi Nirada Chikure Tripure Yavani Rajakshi Kayamakshi Nirada Chikure Tripure Yavani Rajakshi Kayamakshi Nirada Chikure Tripure Yavani Rajakshi Kayamakshi Nirada Chikure Sharadaramanayane ಗೌರಿ ದೋಳ ದ್ಯುತಿ ಹೇ ರಾಮಣಿ ಮಯಾ ಭರಣ್ಯ ಗೌರಿ ದೋಳ ದ್ಯುತಿ ಹೇ ರಾಮಣಿ ಮಯಾ ಭರಣ್ಯ ಶೌರ್ಯ ವಿರಚಿ ವಿನೂತ ಶಿವಶಕ್ತಿಮಯ ನವಾವರಣ್ಯ ಶೌರ್ಯ ವಿರಚಿ ವಿನೂತ ಶಿವಶಕ್ತಿಮಯ ನವಾವರಣ್ಯ ನಾರಿ ಮಂಡ್ಯಾರ್ಚಿತ ನವನಾಥಾಂತ ಕರ್ಣ್ಯ ಶೂರಿ ಜನ ಸೇವಿತ ಸುಂದರ ಗುರುಗೋಗ ಕರಣ್ಯ ನೀದ ಮಗ ಗಮ ನಿದ ಮಗ ಮಗ ಗ ಸಸನೆ ದಾನಿ ಸ ಗ ಗಮ ನೀದ ನಿ ಸ ಗ ಗ ಸ ನಿ ಸ ಮ ಗ ಸ ನಿ ಸ ಗ ಸ ನಿ ಸ ಗ ಸ ನಿ ದ ಮನಿ ದ ಮ ಗ ಗ ಸ ನಿ ಸ ಗ ಮ ನಿ ದ ನಿ ಸ ಗ ಸ ನಿ ದ ಮ ಗ ಗ ಮ ಮ ನಿ ರ ಜಾಕ್ಷಿ ಗ ಮ ಜ ನಿ ರ ಚಿಕ್ಕು ರೇ That was Neerajakshi Kamakshi, set to Ragam Hindolam in Rupakatalam, composition of Muthuswami Dikshitar. Bhogindrashayinam Purukushaladayinam Bhogindrashayinam Purukushaladayinam Bhogindrashayinam Purukushaladayinam Bhogindrashayinam Purukushaladayinam Purusham Shashwatam Kalaye Bhogindrashayinam Purukushaladayinam Purusham Shashwatam Kalaye Bhogindrashayinam Vagisha Gaurisha Vagisha Gaurisha Vasavadyamharapari Vagisha Gaurisha Vasavadyamharapari Vagisha Gaurisha Vasavadyamharapari Varavivardita padam padmanabhavu Bhogindrashayinam కలిధరుది సంధ్యాసి భజనాను గుణ విహిత సులలిత కారమగితం కలిధరుది సంధ్యాసి భజనాను గుణ విహిత సులలిత కారమగితం కలుషగర పరిసరోజ్వల పద్మ తీర్థాది ఖండిత శేష దుర్నితం కలుషగర పరిసరోజ్వల పద్మ తీర్థాది ఖండిత శేష దుర్నితం కలశోభవాన్విత మహేంద్ర త్రికూటవ మలయాచలేంద్ర వినుతం కలశోభవాన్విత మహేంద్ర త్రికూటవర మలయాచలేంద్ర వినుతం కనడమనవర్జి వార్తాండవర్మా కలిత కాంచన విమానలసితం వర్ణనాభోద్రశాయి కలిధనుతి సంధ్యాసి భజనాను గుణ విహిత సులలిత కారమహేత్తం కలుషగర పరిసరోజ్వల పద్మ తీర్థాది ఖండిత శేష దురీతం కలశోత్సవాన్విత మహేంద్ర త్రికూటవర మలయాచలేంద్ర వినుత్తం కన్నడమనవల్కిమ కాండవర్మా కలిత కాంచన విమానలసితం మపనిద పద్మగణాభోగోగేంద్రశాయినం దాస సనిద మపానిద పద్మగణాభోగోగేంద్ర మమ సాప మమ సాని నిదప మమ సమాపనిద పద్మగణాభోగోగేంద్ర సమపని దశని నిద పని దశ సమాస నిద సాని ద పమ పాప నిద పద్మగణాభోగేంద్ర దద్దాని దదని పని దద పమ పమని ద పదస సని నిద ద పమ పని దద పమ పని దద పమ పని నిద పమ పమ దని దదని దదాని పదస నిద పమ పమని ద పని నిద పమని దద పమ ద పమ పమ మమ సోమ పదాని నిద పమ పాద సదని నిద పద దశ దశ దని నిద పని ద పమ పమ దని దాని పని దద పమని దశ దశ దని నిద పమ పమ పదసని నిద పని దద పమ పమ సమ పని నిద ద పని ద పమ దాస నిద పని దద పమ సామ పద పదస నిద పమ సాని ద పదని నిద పమ పమ పనిద సమప మపద పదస దసని సనిద నిద పమనిద పదస దస నిద పనిద పమ పని నిద దస దస మమ సనిద సమ సనిద పదస పద సని నిద పమ నిద సని నిద పనిద పమ నిద పమ పమ సమ పనిద పురుగుశలదాయిన పురుషం శాశ్వత కలయే భోగేంద్ర శాయినం That was Bhogendra Shayanam, a composition in Raga Kuntalavarali, set to Khanda Chaputalam. This is the composition of Maharaja Swati Tirunal. Sadaranana Ra 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 Na 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 Sadarinana More Sadariri Tarana no no na ta na na oh na Narina na 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 la la na 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 no na na da ri ri na more na ta na 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 mo na na la da da ri 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 ta da ra la la ra na 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 ri ri na la sa da ra na 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 ra na 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 ri 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 no na na mu na na oh a ri ra na sa da ra na Sadarinala Sadarila Sodarala Nala Na 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 Sadarinala Na 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 ததரி நல நடி నన్ను పాలింప నడచి వచ్చితి ఓ నన్ను పాలింప నడచి వచ్చితి ఓ నన్ను పాలింప నడచి நடச்சிவ சேத்தி ஓனோ பாலிமோ வாயா நடச்சிவ சேத்தி ஓனா வாயா நடச்சிவ சேத்தி ஓனா நானோ பாலியோ வாயா நடச்சிவ சேத்தி ஓனா பாலியோ வாயா நடச்சிவ சேத்தி ஓனா பால்யமோ வாயா நடச்சி வச்சித்து తెలిసి జీవన మనే నరునా మనసుమార్ మాము తెలిసి జీవన మనే నరునా మనసుమార్ మాము తెలిసి నను పాలిము பாயா நடச்சிவ சேத்தி ஓனா பிராணநாதா அனந்து பாலிமோ பாயா நடச்சி வச்சுத்து ஓ சூரபதினி இல மணினி பதமுபுதோ சூரபதி நீல மணினி பதமுபுதோ Muna syarako kayan dito gara muna syarako kayan dito gara ga gari sada sari nanu palimpa ga pa gari sari ga ri pari sada sari sari sada vada sananu palimpa sari ga ga pada sa navagari sari nanu palimpa ga gari sari ga gari ga pada ga pada ga pada sada ga pada sa ri sada pada sari ga ri sari da sari ga ri sada gari nanu palimpa shabash gari sari ga pada sa gari sari ga pada gari ga pada sa pada ri sa da gari sa da ga sa da pa gari sari nanu palimpa gapada sa pada da gari ga pada ri sari sa da ga pada sari gari sa da ri sa da sa da gari nanu palim ba ba gari ga ba gari ga ba gari ga ba gari ga da ba da pagadavada da pa ba ba gari ga ba da ba gari ga ba da ba da ba gari sari ga ba da ba gari sari ga ba da ba ga da ba da pa da ba gari ga ba da sa da ba gari ga da ba da ri da ba gari ga ba da ri sa pa ba da ga ba pa ri ga sa sari da sa ri ga ba da sa da da sa da 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 sa da da ba da sa da sa da da ba da sa da da sa da ba ga ri ga ba da sa sa ri da ba da da sa ri ri da ri da ba da sa ri ga ri ga ga da ba da sa ri ga ri ga sa ri ga sa ri ga ri sa ga ri ri da 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 ga ri ga sa ga ri da ba ga ri ga ba da sa ri ri da da ri da ba ga ba da da ba da da ri ri da ga ri ba da ri da ga ri da ri da ba ga ga ba da ba da ri da ga ri ba ri da ba da sa ga ri ga ri da ba da ri da ba ga ba sa da sa da ba ga ri ga ri da da sa ri da ba da sa da ba ga ri sa ri ga ba ri ga ba da ba da ga ba da ga ri da sa ri ga ba da sa ri ga ri da ba da ri da ba ga ba sa da ba ga ri ga ri da sa ri da ba da sa da ba ga ri nanu నడచి వచ్చేది ఓ ఓ that was Nannu Palimpa, composition of Saint Tyagaraja, set to Mohanam Ragam Aditalam. विश्वेश्वर दर्शन कर सलमन तुम काशी, 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 विश्वेश्वर दर्शन कर विश्वेश्वर दर्शन जब विश्वेश्वर दर्शन जब कीन्हो बहु प्रेम सगिता, विश्वेश्वर दर्शन जब कीन्हो बहु प्रेम सहिता, काटे काटे करुणा निधान, काटे करुणा निधान जनन मरण फासी, काटे करुणा निधान जनन मरण फासी, विश्वेश्वर दर्शन कर चल मन तुम काशी, पद्मनाभ कमल नयन, पद्मनाभ कमल नयन त्रिनयन शंभु महेशा, पद्मनाभ कमल नयन त्रिनयन शंभु महेशा, भजले भजले इंदो स्वरूपा, भजले इंदो स्वरूप रहिए अभिलाषी, भजले इंदो स्वरूप रहिए अभिलाषी, विश्वेश्वर दर्शन कर चल मन तुम काशी, विश्वेश्वर दर्शन कर चल मन तुम काशी। That was Vishweshwara Darshana, set to Ragam Sindhu Bhairavi, Talam Rupakam, composition of Maharaja Swati Tirunal.
Over to you, students, for the interaction.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir, for blessing our ears with such divine music and mellifluous tune. That was a wonderful experience for all of us, sir.
My pleasure. I'm glad you all enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's time for the spectators to ask questions, and it's an interactive session with our chief guest, Mr. Prasanna Venkatraman, sir. So the spectators can start asking your questions, or if you want any feedback, you can just start asking.
A very pleasant good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, sir, that was really a mesmerizing and wonderful performance, sir. We really, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. So, can you please tell us about your first experience of doing such Carnatic music, and who is your source of inspiration, sir?
Okay. I mean, there are two questions there, right? I thought you're asking me about my first concert.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my first concert was actually when I was around like I think 8 or 9. It's not really I couldn't call it a concert. It was like a 1 hour, a small kind of recital in a temple for a Ramanavami series, right? So that was the first time I actually got on stage and started singing. Now, if you're talking about my main when I really started singing a lot in the circuit and in Madras and all the important organizations, well, that started around the time when I was around when I was 18 or 19, right? 2001, 2002. 2002 was the first time I sang at the Music Academy in their Spirit of Youth Festival. So that was like, could kind of think of it as my first, you know, big concert in a big organization. So yeah, and talking about inspiration, well, I mean, honestly, there have been so many inspirations, right? I mean, my guru in Bombay, Sri T.R. Balamani, was a constant source of Srimati T.R. Balamani was a constant source of inspiration, and I had many. When I was young, 6, uh, I chanced upon recordings of the legendary vocalist Maharajapuram Santanam, and in fact, that was one of he was one of the main reasons I became such a fan of his, that he actually led me to fall in love with this music. And then, of course, as time progressed, I was very fortunate to learn from Sangeeta Kalanidhi T.K. Govind Rao, who is a doyen of Carnatic music, and coincidentally is also guru of my original guru, Srimati T.R. Balamani. He taught her, so it was kind of very nice that I could continue learning from her guru. And then around the late 90s, I was very deeply drawn into the style of Sri Sanjay Subramanian, who happens to be one of the absolute legends of Carnatic music today. And he was one of the main reasons why I kind of in my stage of youth, I started not just looking at music as a hobby, but as a very serious thing, because he inspired me so much. His music inspired me so much that I wanted to take music a lot more seriously. And then again, it's a great blessing that later when I moved to Madras, I had the opportunity to be his student. So yeah, many inspirations, but to name a few, these are the main people, right?
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, sir.
A very pleasant good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir, it was a very wonderful performance by you that we have
Thank you.
got the chance to view
Thank you.
that in a very easy way, that too in online.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
Yes, sir. So can you just share with us about the best compliment that you received from your guru, sir?
Okay, so interestingly, when I, this is one thing that is very close to my heart. And, when I came to Madras and sang around, it was, I think, the 2002, as I mentioned. And my inspiration, Sri Sanjay, he was in the audience that day. So, and after the concert, he heard the concert for some 1 hour, and then he went home. He just left it. He didn't hear the whole thing he went, but I was so pleasantly surprised that, a couple of days he wrote an email to my father, saying that he's very talented and he's working hard, and that he was very happy to listen to me. So till date, as an 18-year-old, when you get that kind of an acknowledgement from somebody whom you look up to, that is very, very special, right? So yeah, I do, I still have that email with me. So yeah, I would rate that as probably the biggest source of encouragement I received at in a very early stage of my career.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, thank you so much for your wonderful piece to our ears, sir.
Thank you.
And
Glad you
it's
enjoyed it.
sir. Sir, may I know about what are the other forms of music would you like to listen, and what are your favorite ragas, sir?
Okay, so well, yeah, I do listen to lots of different kinds of music. I like Hindustani music a lot. Many people whom I uh, adore and admire from the Hindustani world. I mean, I can't to name a few. It would be like Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, and of contemporary stars, Ustad Rashid Khan ji, right? These are the people whom I really love. Favorite ragas? Well, I mean, there's this. I, uh, I mean, as I said, it just keeps changing. But of late, I know I heard Bhimsen Joshi sir's Miyanki Malhar, and it was like I couldn't get out of it for almost a week. It was so addictive. I was just continuously listening to it. So yeah, and now there are other forms of music I love. You know, old Hindi film songs, especially Mohammad Rafi, Manna Deji, Kishore Kumar, right? And in South Indian music of late, I've been listening to a lot of Ilayaraja sir's music. So yeah, I do, I do like and love all kinds of music.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, yes, sir. I have got one more question to you, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir. What is your message to the youth who want to take up their career towards Carnatic music, sir?
Uh, well, I mean, first of all, there are a lot of youth who are taking it up and doing very well. So I don't want to like sound speechy and give people advice since there are. Well, it's simple. I mean, I would take that. Say, I would probably direct this message to people who are learning the art, not necessarily people who are already in the vogue, already in the verge of you know performing and all that stuff. So learning the art, honestly, when I was young and learning that, I didn't have any idea that I would become a performing musician, right? Uh, that was not the reason why I learned art. That's not why my parents taught me art either. I was just learning it for you know the joy of art. I loved singing, I loved listening to music. So I think primarily that's what I would like to say, that I mean, let's not try to premeditate it, right? I mean, nobody can you can't say for sure whether you'll end up becoming a professional musician or not. But if you love music, if you really enjoy music, then do pursue it with all seriousness. And it can be any form of music, right? Not just Carnatic music, right? So it takes a lot of effort. Honestly, that's something that I would like to reiterate. Both Carnatic music and Hindustani music, unfortunately, there are no shortcuts to it. It takes a lot of hard work in the form of learning from people who are like learning from really reputed gurus, to practicing a lot, right? Training your voice, to listening to a lot. That's also very important, right? I mean, when I was young, almost every evening I would be found at some concert listening to music, right? So it's very important to do all these things, and do all these things mainly for the love of the art, and that should be the reason. And then, well, I mean, many times what happens is that things just move in some direction and you may end up becoming a professional, right? So and start performing, right? So that would be my advice, right? Enjoy the art, work hard at it, right? And then leave the rest to whatever, wherever the flow takes you, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for a wonderful piece of advice, sir.
Sir, I would like to listen from you about your point of view, like how the Carnatic music is being received by the foreign countries, sir.
Okay. Interesting question. So there are, see, Carnatic musicians are today touring all over the world, right? In the sense that there are, they're regularly touring, you know, America, America, Singapore, Australia, Europe, right? And if you look at places like America, Australia, and Singapore, it's still mainly Indians, who come and listen to it. There's a large Indian community there. So when you go and perform, there are a few foreigners, and they do come, and this is mainly an Indian community. But I can talk from a personal experience of mine when I once sang in Paris in France. And believe me, there were no Indians in the audience. It was entirely a French audience. And I sang 1 hour of proper Carnatic music, and well, they really loved it, right? And so, yes, I mean, as time is progressing, you do find that there is a lot more awareness about Carnatic music in the West, right? Hindustani music, it's been there for a lot more time, with people like Pandit Ravi Shankar and Amjad Ali Khan, and people like that. They have been going abroad for much longer than Carnatic musicians are. But of late, you do just see that has changed a lot, right? There is a lot of awareness. There's a lot of good reception for Carnatic music in audiences where typically earlier it was not much known. So yeah, that's a very encouraging, fairly recent in the sense last 15 to 20 years development, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for genuinely pointing your perspective, sir.
Sir, I have one more question to ask, sir.
Sure.
Please, sir, could you please tell us about your favorite composers?
Favorite composers. So I mean, uh, Carnatic music, as I suppose you're just getting exposed to Carnatic music, and Carnatic music has been really fortunate to have had over the last, especially over the last 300 400 years, a number of great composers, right, who have contributed several great compositions. So if you looked at today's concerts, in Carnatic music, there are these three composers known as the Trinity, right? And they all kind of lived in the 17th to 18th century. Their names are Saint Tyagaraja, Muthuswami Dikshitar, and Shama Shastri. Now you may have heard of these names. Generally, when you go to any all India radio, you find photo of three musicians sitting with tambura, the other Trinity. And they have they have been the most prolific in composing composing pieces for Carnatic music, and to a large extent they have given shape and direction to what we know as Carnatic music today, right? So definitely for any Carnatic musician, they would be right up there as favorites, without saying. Now, of late, right, I mean, over the last 100 years there have been some brilliant composers, right? One such composer who's really close to my heart is Sri Papanasam Shivan, right, who composed a lot in Tamil, right? And he lived in the 20th century, and was almost as he was so prolific that he was called as Tamil Tyagaraja, right? That's the number of compositions he made. So yeah, I would say that again, there are a whole lot of other composers whom I really love, but these four would kind of take the cake.
Yes, sir. So one of our professors have given her feedback for the session, sir. You can check that in our chat box, or I mean the chat box, sir.
Let me look at it.
Yes, sir.
Let me just, yeah. Oh, it's very, very sweet of her to send this message. Thank you, ma'am. It's very lovely write up. I'm glad that I was able to present this concert.
There is one question in the chat window.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Hello.
One from audience has raised the question.
Okay. What is the difference between Santana Manjari and Sucharitra? I am Jyoti. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, today okay, there are two answers to it. Today they are by and large the same. Santana Manjari is in the in the Dikshita tradition. Sucharitra is the Melakarta tradition. So actually, but one big difference between there is one difference between Dikshita's approach to these ragas and the Melakarta approach, right? If you look at Sucharitra, there is this song by Kotishwara Iyer, right? Velum Mailume, and the scale is Sariga ma pada ni sa ni da ba ma ga ri sa ni da ni sa is the scale. Now Dikshatar, uh, if you look at the Mela version of Sucharitra, then they generally do not. They generally have all the notes, right, in both going up and going down. But if you look at Dikshatar's the way he handles it, you find a immediately you'll find one difference, which is Santana Manjari. See how he jumps from Sa to Pa, right? So Dikshatar had a very similar approach to the Melakarta, which is called as Asampurna Melakarta, right? In the sense that he always omitted a couple of notes in between, and that's how he gave a different flavor to the raga. So yeah, really by note positions, it is the same raga, but in approach, it is different. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And our Dr. Sheila Banu ma'am has another query to make it, sir. Would you permit her to make, sir?
Sure, sure.
Yes, sir.
Sheila madam, I think. Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Yes,
good
yes.
evening. Good evening, Mr. Prasanna.
Good evening.
Yeah, I loved your rendition. I
Thank
listened
you.
to two of your songs, the Kundavarali as well as Swati, Maharaja Swati's Vishwa, no?
Vishweshwar Darshan.
Yeah, Vishweshwar, and both the songs were really different and unique. Kundavarali was so vibrant, and the other song, it was so ethereal, I should say. Okay, my hearty congratulations to you as well as your troop members, first
Thank
of
you.
all.
I'll convey it to them. Yeah.
Yeah, it was wonderful listening. You have refreshed the evening also.
Thank you.
Okay, you made it very fine and melodious. Now, I just have a question, rather than a question, a doubt,
Mhm.
Generally, our youngsters are much more drawn to film music rather than classical music. Okay, is there any possibility? Actually, this is a very fine initiative taken by SPIC MACAY as well as my college. Okay, so I really congratulate my college and thank, okay, for giving me this wonderful opportunity, okay, for youngsters to listen to your program. Yeah, what is the best way to make Carnatic music reach the youngsters, no? Do you have any ideas? Uh,
Yeah. I mean, this is a very, it's a very relevant question, a very good question, and something that people have been trying to address, right,
yeah.
through various different means, right? One of it is SPIC MACAY itself, right, in the sense that introducing Carnatic music and introducing people in educational institutions to Carnatic
Mm.
music. The other thing is there are also been a number of attempts by us young musicians to take music to schools, right? And at different levels, you try to go to schools, and there are what we call as build a rasika. Rasika is nothing else but somebody who enjoys
Yeah.
classical music, right?
Yeah.
Build a rasika sessions at various popular schools in Chennai and all. So yeah, it's not to say that efforts are not being done, but you are right, we would definitely love to see a greater number of youngsters getting involved in these arts. Right now, why aren't they getting involved is, I think there is it's a lot to do with, when you're in college, you want to do stuff that everybody else in college is doing, right? In the sense that if everybody is and well, don't get me wrong, I love film songs. There's nothing wrong at all in listening to film songs, or
Yeah.
there are some very beautiful melodies over there, so not criticizing it,
That's
but
nice.
it's generally a you generally float along with whatever is the in thing, and classical music is never the in thing at that point of your life, because yeah, it is first of all, it takes a little bit of effort to even sit down in one place and kind of be still and listen to it and absorb it, right? So yeah, so it is those challenges are always there, but yes, and we have to try to bridge this gap and get the younger generation more involved, right? And I only thing at the moment I would say that's an open question, right? We are trying to make some initiatives towards that direction, but yeah, it remains to be seen, right, how effective it is.
Yeah, I just felt that youngsters are fascinated to film music more than classical music.
No,
That's
they
it.
are absolutely, and there is no, and there is nothing wrong in that, right? Because see,
Yeah,
films are
nothing.
easier entertainment, right? If you
Uh,
think about it, uh, in the sense that you don't need to really apply yourself a lot to say listen to film music. It just can be something going on in the background, right? But classical music, you need to like sit in one place and get yourself a little bit engrossed in it, right?
yes.
So. That's why, but at the same time, there are still a number of youngsters, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
pursuing art, pursuing classical music. I wouldn't say that that's not the case. It's
yeah.
always going to be niche, right? That is one thing which we have to kind of, uh, bring ourselves to terms with. It's never going to be like rock music or pop music where like millions of people listen to it. That's the case with classical music all over the world, right?
Yeah.
The
Well,
important the important thing, however, is to keep it alive and have that audience at all points, right?
yeah.
Have that, whatever that is, 10% or 15% of audience dedicated, which really value classical music, right? If we
Mm.
can have that, then the music will survive. No problems at all, right? Because in the
Wonderful.
last 400 years, it's always been niche.
That's it. Thank you so much. And I feel that you should conduct many more performances like this, and workshops and conferences can also be organized by you.
Definitely, definitely, definitely.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So one of our audience has posted one question in the chat box, sir.
Hmm.
Uh, Kindly do answer it, sir.
Let me look at it. Is
Yeah, yes.
there a technique to master Podi Sangadis? Podi Sangadis. Now, I'm like trying to understand what that means. I mean, is that generally Brigas? Can this person, you know, come online and kind of, help me understand better what you reflect, kind of, is that Brigas, right? Okay, so, well, for Brigas, there are some, see, everybody's voice is endowed differently, right? Not everybody needs to be a really fast Praga singer, right? There have been many great musicians who have entirely, devoted themselves to slow pace. So, not saying that Briga is the ultimate in Carnatic music, but since the question is how to develop speed in your voice, there are some techniques. So, if you take the very basic lessons of Carnatic music, the Alankarams, right? Take it up early in the morning and sing them in 4 speeds, 5 speeds. See how fast your voice can go, right? And gradually try to increase it. Sing the Alankarams with akara. Don't like sa re ga ma ga re sa re ga re sa re ga ma ba ma ga re ga ma ga re ga ma pa. That's what is there, right? Keep singing like that in the morning. Try to increase. Sing that. Try to increase the speed and sing it. Practice that way. And you have varnams. Try to sing varnams in akaram, right? And these are actually the simple techniques. I wouldn't say simple, forgive me for saying simple, because it takes a lot of effort. If you do this over like period of 4 or 5 years, and you spend like 3 or 4 hours a day practicing like this, then yes, you do end up developing speed. Some people are like get it very naturally. Some people comes naturally to their voice. Other people have to work a little bit harder. But this is generally the guidelines, right? This is how you go about developing those skills. Yes, there would be slippages, and you have to the the thing is that you have to sing it so many times that you don't have slippages, right? The first time you try to do it, there are obviously going to be slippages. uh, there are two things will happen. You will either hit the notes wrongly, that is what is called as apaswaram or slippage. Secondly, your voice will start lagging. You want to say it will start it will start slowing down by itself because the voice is not able to keep up. So sometimes you can sing with a metronome, put a metronome at whatever speed you want and try to keep up, right? That way. Yeah, but no no quick fix as always.
So I think we will do the vote of thanks. Gangai ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
A very pleasant evening to everyone present here. I'm Kalevani, pursuing MA English Literature in Government Arts College. It's my great pleasure to stay before you today to express my heartfelt gratitude for your presence at this spectacular classical music series. On behalf of the entire organizing committee, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to each and every one of you for gracing this occasion with your esteemed presence. We would like to extend a special thanks to the special guest artists who have mesmerized us with the soulful performances and made this series a huge success. Your incredible music and enchanting voices have left us spellbound, and we cannot thank you enough for the beautiful memories you have created. I would also like to extend my gratitude to the other artists who made this session more colorful with their instruments. I would also like to express my cordial gratitude to the technicians and organizing committee who have worked tirelessly to make this event possible. Without your valuable contributions, we would not have been able to create this wonderful platform for music lovers to come together and enjoy the magic of music. Lastly, I would like to thank each and every members of the audience and viewers for being here today and for your continuous support and encouragement. Your presence has made the series a truly unforgettable experience, and we hope to see you again in future events. Once again, thank you all for being a part of this amazing music series, and we wish you all a pleasant evening ahead. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Kalevani, for your wonderful words of gratitude. Um, to wind up the session, on behalf of the organizing committee, Government Arts College Autonomous Salem, we heartily thank all of the audience as well as the participants. So now it is time for the session to wind up. It is over to the technical team to handle.
Thank you. I'm logging off.